Good morning, everyone. A couple of weeks since I've been on. Ado here, social care manager from Crosscare Homeless Services, former member of the Social Care Workers Board of Crewe, former member of the Consultative Forum for former residents and mother and baby homes and allied institutions. What do I want to talk to you about this morning on this beautiful morning out here in Bray? I'm down in Bray Harbour. Absolutely beautiful morning after torrential rain for the last couple of days. I've been reading a bit online and talking to a couple of social care workers who've been involved in violent incidents in the services that they've been working in. And I thought, it'd be worth exploring that. Should we accept violent incidences as the norm? And I suppose the simple answer to that is there is no simple answer. We should not be subject to violence against us when we go into work. Will we be working with individuals who, for whatever reason, express themselves in an aggressive, threatening, violent manner? The chances of that happening are pretty high. A lot of what I'm seeing and a lot of the people I'm talking to are working in services where they're working with people whose cognitive reasoning is impaired, or who are living with a diagnosis of, something or other. And therefore, it appears to me from talking to people and from reading what I'm reading online that a lot of the times the management teams are dealing with it very differently. But the way it needs to be dealt with is not from the perspective of the person that perpetrated the violence, although that has to be looked at and a behaviour analysis and a plan has to be put in place. But when we're in a leadership role and when we are leading a team of social care workers, what do we do for them when something happens? And what is the training within the organisation to support those people, to support those frontline workers? What training does your management team have, or what training does your team leaders, your deputies, your picks, whatever sort of language you use around your leadership team, what training do they have specifically to deal with a critical incident? The training that I've been given is called CISM, Critical Incident Stress Management, and it's a training that's used, would have been used extensively in disaster management situations, and we've looked at it, made it applicable to the organisation that I work in. And so to be a whole team of people trained. So if someone was really badly injured, people from outside the service that I manage, in my service, people outside the service that I manage, but within the organisation, would come in and do a diffusion and debrief with those individuals to make sure that they're okay. But what's my responsibility as a manager? My responsibility is, if someone is badly assaulted in the service that I lead, that they're taken off the floor straight away if possible. That they're guided towards medical services, and then we get to deal with the first aid aspect of it, the injuries and all. And then my role is to, if I feel the need, is to bring in external people to support them and to make sure that they're emotionally that they're doing well. But then my role is to sit down with everyone then and analyse and reflect on what happened, and then look at how we can try to prevent it from happening again. But we really need to wrap around the supports for the frontline workers, for the social care workers, and not, if someone is badly injured, as has happened with people I've been talking to, and the expectation is they stay there on shift, and not only that, but they go back in the next day. Like, if they're badly injured, they need medical attention first. That's what they need first. And then we as professionals need to be guided by the medical professionals to see what's wrong. So violence in the workplace should never just be accepted. It's not a one solution fixes everything for everyone. They all have to be taken on their merits. But we have to show a really positive response as leaders in social care services. We have to show a really positive response to those who work the front line. Because if we don't, we're going to have burnout and we're going to be in trouble. We won't be able to provide services, and then that'll leave those who use our services at a greater risk of having outbursts. Talk to you all soon.